All right, all right. We got episode 14 of the Park It podcast. I'm joined by my friend Connor Dixon, fellow comedian, and I don't know any of your other credentials, but
For
coming
now,
on,
just
man.
comedian, I guess.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm a little out of it.
Yeah,
I got that Johnson and Johnson vaccine.
you got the one. You got the
Yeah.
one shot. Now my girlfriend got that. She was kind. She kind of used it to get some money out of me for sure. I
Oh,
had to
cool.
order like a $60 Indian food order, and then she refused to seamless Venmo half of it back to me. So
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
that
trying
happens.
to I'm trying to get her back with the vac. I got the first shot though with Pfizer.
Okay.
I had no side effects. My arm is slightly sore. That's about it.
Yeah.
I got it in my right arm because I had a show last night, so I didn't want to like have to leave the mic in the stand if my left arm wasn't working.
Okay. Yeah. No, I get that. I thought I was gonna get Moderna, and I guess because I had some inside information. But
Yeah.
after 4 o'clock, they switched over to whatever the next day is. So
Really? What testing site were you at? Jersey, right?
yeah, I was in Camden, like Camden Community
Okay.
College or something like that. So
I was in NJIT,
nice.
Newark. They were playing like rave music. Were they doing that for you? It was like real, and it was like it felt like a party.
No, it definitely didn't feel like a party. It felt like something out of the Hunger Games, man. Just
I
like
think that's why they were playing that music. I was like, if
okay,
they didn't have this upbeat music going on, I'd be like, am I like going into
yeah, it's just like
people
felt
in
like
army fatigues?
seriously. I just like there was a ton of people. Like they were really efficient with processing. So just like boom, you're next, and like when after you get the shot and you have to kind of sit there for a while, just in like a gymnasium with a bunch of people. I was like, this is I don't know. This feels like what the anti-vaxxers were talking about.
Yeah, it does feel like apocalyptic a little bit.
Yeah.
I left my jacket because I had a jacket on. I left it at where I got the shot.
Okay.
And so then I'm like, this guy who's like, he's in they're like Army Reserves, I think. He walks up and I'm like, hey, I left my jacket over there. He goes, what, are you kidding me? Like, but he was joking. And I was like, oh, okay. For a second, I thought he was like serious. And I was like, I lost that jacket.
Yeah. It's like, well, that's that.
Well, that's my jacket now.
Yeah. If someone responds to me aggressive enough, I just assume that like, I guess, yeah, go fuck myself.
Yeah. If he didn't want to, he could have made that joke last so long that I would have thought he wasn't joking if he wanted to.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He could have made off with my jacket.
I would have folded. But yeah, I mean, I got it Thursday, and then Friday, like I called in to my job, like we have like a little daily meeting. I was like, hey guys, I'm not gonna bullshit you. I don't have much for you today. I'm not gonna be working today. I had a fever like 101 degrees, and
Really?
Yeah, I was down for the count, man. Even this morning. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she was too bad, but she definitely wasn't feeling great when my girlfriend got the one. I was going to work half a day yesterday, but I went to the dentist first. Nice. Then I had the vaccine. Two things I hate. I haven't been to the dentist in like 4 years.
Yeah.
No good reason for it. There's no good reason to not go to a dentist for that long. It was an insurance issue at one point, but I do that and like they were almost mad that my teeth were healthy. I didn't have any issues. They were like, they were like pissed that they were like, I'm like defying dentistry somehow by not going for 4 years yet. I have no issues.
I had something similar. The last time I went was probably at least 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah. Like before then, it had been about 4 years, and I was like, oh boy. They're like, yeah, you're fine. We'll do like a deep cleaning just cause, but like nothing to see here. And I was like, all right.
Yeah. They tried to scare me because they're like, God damn it. Now this guy's going to skip it again for another 4 years. We need to get him coming in twice a year.
Yeah.
So they're like, if you don't come in twice a year, there could be some movement in your teeth. There could be this and that. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to start coming in every 6 months just because I'm getting older. I got to take some better care of myself. But you don't have to give me the scared straight tactics. There's no cavities here. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. Right. Maybe I'll floss a little more. But if I'm going every 6 months, maybe not, because then you're going to have to just floss for me twice a year.
Yeah, totally. And at this point, like with all the technology too, it's like I don't need to. I don't need this, right? Like I can just show up at any point and like you'll give me a new set of chompers if I have enough money. So
yeah, they have like crazy shit in there. They wanted to do some laser cleaning, but it wasn't covered by insurance. It was $75, and I was like, no. You already told me I don't have any cavities. Let's like, no need to get lasers involved.
Yeah, lasers.
I don't even know how that would work. They said it was going to like zap the bacteria out of my mouth.
Okay.
I don't.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever you say, Doc.
I did that. Then to the vaccine. So my boss was like, "Look, log in, but it seems like you got a lot going on today. So feel free to take the whole day."
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, my plan was to work the next day, and I was just like, yeah, no,
Can't do it.
no, I'm done.
I'm worried about the second shot because I'm getting that at the end of the month, but I have a show that night. I feel like I'll be okay that day.
You'll be okay day of, pretty
But
much.
the next day, I probably want to like not make any hard plans.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
set plans.
Because like by the time I felt symptoms, it was pretty late at night. Like I had some like where I got the shot.
A little sore.
Yeah, the injection point soreness or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
But then like I woke up Friday morning at this point at like 4 a.m.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, I'm not well. And like I just didn't do anything. I just sat there from like 4 to 7. I was like kind of in and out of just being awake. And I'm like, yeah, this is not going to be a good day for me.
I have needle phobia. I don't know about you. Like it's very bad. With this, it's not too bad because the shot was so fast.
Yeah.
I'll look away, breathe. Sometimes I'll just talk to myself, be like, hey, just, I'm going to probably be talking to myself a little bit because it'll distract me from what you're doing.
Sure.
And this one was so fast and I barely even felt the needle. It was fine. But also the lady injecting me had she was badass. She had these covered in tattoos.
Okay.
There were like multiple Portland, Oregon tattoos. I almost said like, hey, are you from Portland?
Yeah.
And she would have said, yeah, are you? And I would have said, no, I've never been. It was one of those dumb things where I'm like,
yeah,
just you try to make conversation, you have no follow-up. But then I was about to tell her like, hey, I'm really afraid of needles. But I'm like, this woman's probably been overseas.
Right.
He's covered in tattoos. She doesn't want to be here injecting hundreds of people today. So I'm like, just shut up. Just don't. Yeah. My fear of needles, she was in Iraq, dude.
Yeah, just way too cool for your bullshit, right?
Yeah. She's the coolest woman I've ever seen.
That's funny. Yeah. I briefly had a stint in Portland. Briefly.
Yeah.
I like the town. I think it's a cool spot. Like no black people.
It's very white, aggressively white.
It's an aggressively white place, but
granola whites though, right?
Yeah. Like that granola crunchy white.
Passive aggressive liberal.
Mm-hmm. Like less obnoxious hipsterdom,
Yeah.
Like, it's not quite like Williamsburg. Portland's got its own flavor.
Yeah.
But
like more secure with their own identities than the Brooklyn hipsters. Yeah,
because like it's not like people that aren't broke that are like living that like hipster, like I'm just doing this to be cool lifestyle. So people are just like, no, this is my situation, but it just made
I'm a graphic designer or whatever.
Exactly.
I've never been to Portland. I like Seattle. Seattle was cool.
Yeah, Seattle's dope. I was there.
It's super, super white. I look like I should go to Portland, but haven't been.
Yeah, you do well there. You do well.
I've heard the big strip club culture in Portland.
There is.
Yeah.
I think there's more strippers per capita than like anywhere else in the continental United States.
That's insane because we have Atlanta in the continental United States.
I know. You know what though? Like I don't know. They have a good strip club culture, right?
It's like more artistic, right?
Yeah,
that's like what I've heard.
Yeah. I have friends that would go to like stripper okie or something like that. It was like karaoke at the strip club.
That's cool.
You would sing and then someone would be performing behind you or something like that.
So you're like the club's DJ for a song.
Yeah, for like one song.
Man, you better be good. Can you imagine getting a lap dance to somebody who's terrible at singing behind you? That'd really kill the situation.
That's a boner killer right there.
It's a laugh. I mean, you're probably laughing at least.
Yeah. And just like you got to deal with people's like weird karaoke choices because like I'll break out like Chumbawamba just to fuck with somebody.
That's a good one. Yeah. I definitely would. I would end up trolling a few people in the strip club, I think.
Yeah. If you want to like completely destroy the strip club economy, though, do like the full Fresh Prince song.
Oh, the whole one when they have the drinking orange juice out of a champagne glass.
Yeah, 7 minutes. Like Apocalypse Now.
They aired that full theme song for like maybe one season of the show. I remember seeing like a really old episode of Fresh Prince and I was like, this is an insanely long theme song for a TV show.
It is such a long song. And what made me think about that is like I was at strip club, I think it was my bachelor party, and like that song was playing. I was like, that is an insane song to be playing at a strip club.
Very family friendly for a strip club rap song.
Right?
It's not really a strip club rap jam, in my opinion.
Oh, no, excuse me. This is legal now.
Oh, we got a little pot. Yeah.
I mean,
I took a couple edibles recently. There's a CBD store over here that had them, I guess.
Nice.
I didn't know they had them yet, but I took an edible. I watched No Country for Old Men, fell asleep for almost the entire movie.
Cool.
And then watched Space Jam.
So you still understand the movie about as much as I do.
Yeah. I want to like all those films.
Yeah.
So badly that I will like all of them. You know, you ever like just want to like something, so you're like, even if I don't get it, I'm gonna like it.
Exactly.
So some of those films I do like I really like LA Confidential and those kind of.
I like LA Confidential.
Yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson films I like.
Rollo Tomasi. Yeah.
Fargo, Big Lebowski, the Coen Brothers.
Totally.
I don't know if I could get into No Country for Old Men as much as I wanted to.
That's that's one of those movies. Like, I like the movie, but then like at the same time, like, I'm not smart enough for this. I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm just.
It's supposed to be all about like conscience and fate, but what? Because he flips a coin like 3 times? I don't know. That's a little too subtle for me.
Yeah. Actually, for a podcast I'm doing tomorrow, I just watched the Snyder Cut.
You did the 4 hours?
Yeah. It took me it really would have taken me 2 viewings, but I did it in 3 because I had to like do something. And I was like, now, unfortunately, I have to watch the Whedon cut, the original, because I'm supposed to compare the two. And it's just like, man, it's not a great movie, but it's way better than what I remember watching originally.
People bitch about those long movies, but it's like, well, you have enough time in the day. The same people bitching about that movie, they binge watched a full 10 episode season of Stranger Things in the same sitting. It's like, you have enough time. You don't have the attention span.
Right.
That's the problem.
It's all about packaging now, man. Like, you watch something like WandaVision is a great example, right? Like, I love like the Scarlet Witch kind of storyline and stuff like that, but that was not a very popular character at all.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't watch like any of the superhero shit. I should.
Smart man.
Just because it's like, I can only like, if I can't relate to it I guess I'm that much of a narcissist that if I can't put myself in the shoes of the main characters, I can't really watch the shit.
Yeah, you're like watching 12 Years a Slave. It's like, I don't get it.
Yeah. You said that, not me.
Yeah, no, that was me. Just for the record. That's even why I said it. I was like, oh, this is going to get uncomfortable.
That's why, though, that's like those mumblecore movies that are like, they're not that good, but I can enjoy them because I can be like, oh, yeah, I can relate to this slacker with a goofy haircut who's, you know, walking around a coffee shop. But I got to get more into that stuff. The WandaVision thing I heard was really cool. Catherine Hahn was in it? Yeah,
Catherine Hahn was great.
She's got a little renaissance going on for her career.
Yeah. I mean, like, I was watching something today, and it was Catherine Hahn. It was before WandaVision even came out, but like, it was an interview of her going over a bunch of movies from her IMDb. And like, there was one movie she didn't even remember even being in.
Really?
Which is funny. But like,
she's great in all those comedies from like the early and mid 2000s.
Yeah. I forgot she was like, I want to say it was Knocked Up. Yeah, I think so. She was in that. And it's just like, yeah, she's very, very funny. And like in WandaVision, I don't know, she plays into that sort of funny factor while still being kind of like a serious character in it without getting into spoiler territory.
Yeah. She was in a mini series that was based on a book like Mrs. Fletcher, I think is what it was called. And it was funny at times, but it was more like a sex drama type thing. It was very I mean, I mostly know her from Anchorman, from fucking John C. Reilly in the bathroom stall.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like then when I see Catherine Hahn, I'm still gonna go back to that. It's just those movies where I was like formative. I mean, the box office comedy is dead, unfortunately.
I think what's funny about Catherine Hahn too is like she's exactly the age that she should be right now.
Yes, this is. Everybody has different levels of prime, like for acting and for her look perfectly fits being what is she, like 41?
Mm-hmm. Something in that range. She's probably got a good another 5 to 10 years of run
Yeah.
playing that age, but like she's like exactly who she's supposed to be right now.
She'll age well too, because she can then go to being a young grandma. She'll be great in like a trailer park movie where she's like maybe a little too young to be a grandma, but then you just make them real poor rural whites.
Right.
And she'll be good there.
Yeah. Oh man, I speaking of Portland, so my mother-in-law, back around when Trump first got elected, bought me Hillbilly Elegy, right?
Yeah, the
so
book.
Like, yeah. So I did not read it, and then the movie came out, and I heard the movie was dog shit. So I was like, well, I'm gonna read Hillbilly Elegy, so I can then watch this really bad movie. And
the book is supposed to be good, right?
The book's all right. Yeah, it's like it's a good book, but like how do you put it? He's not really a writer, right? Like
he has like a conservative bent to it, right?
Yeah, a little bit. And it's just mostly just him like recounting growing up, and he's like not quite old enough to have a retrospective on his life, but it's fresh enough that like it was relevant, you know? And I think I'm glad I read the book when I read it, because it was basically after the Trump years. But like if I read it in 2016, I don't think I would have appreciated the context of like the sort of Appalachian poor white that I did after seeing like the entire Trump kind of presidency.
Yeah. Well, everybody loves the poor white the poor white movies now. Like there's another one on Hulu I watched that got like it won awards. I thought it was fine. It's
Nomadland.
Yeah,
I watched it.
Those kind of stories I think are better as a novel, because there's less dialogue. It's like it's great, but I'm like I would rather just read this story.
Yeah, I think like the scenery in that movie is what like makes it work. I don't think like Frances McDormand's great, but like I don't.
Oh, she's great.
It wasn't like the acting was like, oh, I gotta watch this shit. It was just kind of like, all right, this is interesting.
Yeah. I thought it was cool that it was like a throwback to the 2008 financial crash. It's like when like Hillbilly Elegy, it's like that might be maybe make this movie in 15 years.
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah, I watched the movie with what's it called? It's called Cherry. I don't know if you heard of that one.
Okay, I heard about that.
I read the book first. The book is great.
My buddy Kevin Hall interviewed the guy.
Nico Walker?
Yeah, he writes for like GQ, so he like did an interview with the guy. And I don't know, he was dressed like he was in a Guy Ritchie movie. I was just like,
yeah. So part of the reason I brought that up is I was on the path yesterday coming back from New York, and I thought I almost saw the guy, Nico Walker, because he wears like these hats. He's dressed in like a untucked suit. I'm talking about in the pictures I've seen of him. Yeah. And he puts makeup on now. He's wearing like eyeshadow and stuff. Okay. So I see a guy with that same kind of reddish beard, red hair, but his I don't think it was him, but it looked a lot like him. Yeah. And he was with not who he's engaged to. So I hope it wasn't him. And also, since he's had a drug addiction past, I hope, the guy seemed a little fucked up. So I hope it wasn't him, but
yeah, hopefully.
I wish I had the security to dress like that just a few times in my life.
Yeah.
Just to feel what it's like.
I often like we're comedians. I often sort of dream of like if I make it, right?
Yeah. Your style is.
It's like do I want to break out the leather suit? Like do I want to do an Eddie at some point?
I don't think I could ever be a suit comic. I don't think so, unless they needed me to do like a corporate gig or something where it was formal.
I could be a suit comic for sure, like more like the Mulaney style.
Yeah.
I wear a suit pretty well, and like especially now that I like grew my hair out.
Yeah.
I think
that's pretty
like,
GQ.
Yeah, I think it'd be a cool aesthetic, But
you could do that or drag. I feel like you'd be a good drag queen.
Oh yeah, drag, huh?
And then you got the hair long. Yeah, I know it's a compliment. No, you got the build for it. You got the build for it.
That's awesome.
Is that a Coors Light? Silver Bullet?
A Silver Bullet, my friend. Yeah, it was I went to Ace Hardware earlier today, and then I was like, it was right next to a liquor city or something like that. And I was like, I'm gonna get these. I'm talking to the old Midwestern boy. You know what I mean?
Coors Light.
Are you guys in the Midwest, right?
Chicago, yeah. Mm-hmm. Chicago is like it's Midwest, but when I tell people I'm from the Midwest and then I say Chicago, they're like, "You're not really from the Midwest." Yeah. Especially people who are like from Iowa, they love to say stuff like that, and I'm like, "All right, well, I don't know what you want me to say then. It's clearly in the Midwest."
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry I didn't grow up on a farm. I'm sorry I didn't like ride a tractor around. I'm sorry that I,
Yeah.
don't have a weird twang in my accent and I don't say what's a bagel.
You don't have to apologize for that.
Yeah.
Fucking, speaking of award-winning movies, I watched what's it, Brokeback Mountain last night. Yeah.
Never seen it. We almost watched that instead of No Country that one day.
Okay, yeah. This is my first time seeing it. Worth a watch if you think about it.
Yeah,
Like,
Heath Ledger. Who's the other guy?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, I love Jake.
Yeah.
Big Jake fan.
They were great in it. Heath, I don't know, Heath just had that range.
Yeah.
That was good.
I walked by Jake Gyllenhaal in the East Village once.
Yeah.
And he's got an intense look to him. He's not as tall as I thought. He's like a little bit taller than me. He's probably 5'10".
Okay.
But it was right after I'd seen the movie Nocturnal Animals in theaters.
Nice.
That movie was great. He's just a cool dude. He seems like a fun guy.
Yeah. I can definitely see that. He's got like I don't know, he's got that like kind of party energy to him. Yeah.
He looks like a guy who would rip it up a bit. Like
For
he'd
sure.
be, it'd be like 3 a.m. and you see him stumble out of a bar with a cigarette, but he's lighting it the wrong way.
Yeah. I can see that. Since we're on a movie kick, like I watched another movie recently, Up in the Air. It's like George Clooney.
Yeah, great movie. I like that one a lot. With Anna Kendrick, young Anna Kendrick.
Young Anna Kendrick, yep. And then
supporting role.
I forget the lead actress in that. Damn. Vera Farmiga.
Yeah. She plays, her and Clooney are like the veterans in the industry. They fly around firing people.
Yeah, like that movie really hit me because like the 2008 crisis, like, backdrop. I was just like, wow, that was fucked up.
Yeah. The airline industry took I remember around that time, my stepdad was like investing in stuff and he gave us $500 to invest in the stock market through him, of course. And then if it did well, he'd pay us out. If it didn't, then whatever. And I had put all my money in Northwest Airlines.
Ooh.
When I was 13, I was like, we're never going to stop flying.
Yeah,
and that's true. But Northwest Airlines did stop flying very quickly.
Yeah. Now I've just been watching the stock market, man. Like, I can't figure out Boeing. They just keep having so many bad headlines. Like, you can't go anywhere.
I don't know. I'm not smart enough to do that shit. I have like a little account.
Okay.
I have some Ethereum. I did get in.
Nice.
But I don't know anything about it. I wish I want to be, but I don't have I probably could if I put more time into it. But I'm just lazy.
I mean, it just depends on like how you're doing it. Like I've got a small little Roth IRA I've just been kind of messing around with. And it's been doing okay.
Yeah, I got my 401k, which hopefully I don't need it, but I'd love to just
nice
drop that. Financial security.
Yeah, man, financial security. It's important,
Yeah.
We didn't let Bernie, so you better get capitalist.
No. This weed thing is, would you ever work at like a weed store? I have so many friends that did that in Colorado after college.
I would. Bud tenders, they're the best.
Yeah, bud tenders. That's the several of my friends from college who either dropped out or a few of them have like incredible degrees. And one guy was working at Sloan Kettering.
Okay.
Like very honorable, serious job, moves to Denver to be a manager of like a growing weed franchise of stores. I mean, it's good money. He was on CNBC at one point.
Nice. Yeah, I've got a couple pot stocks, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, I've got Kronos, which isn't doing shit. I got Canopy Growth, which is a Canadian-based pot thing, and I'm like, I like them. They're doing okay. Yeah. And then I got on that Reddit train, and I do have one meme stock, which is Sundial Growers.
Okay.
Canadian company. Definitely shouldn't have put my money into them.
No, they're not going to go anywhere.
Nah, they do like pre-roll stuff. Like, that's kind of their bag. I'm like, this ain't gonna work. But
it gets crazy. Like, when I was in Chicago last, my aunt she has Vichette's and autoimmune disease.
Okay. Shit.
I mean, she was a deadhead and followed the Grateful Dead around and abused like a lot of hard drugs. I think that might have been part of why she got it. But now she smokes weed to help deal with the symptoms, which is like, a nice little circle there. But it's all legal in Chicago, and the sign, like, they got me a key lime pie chocolate bar.
Okay.
With a ton of THC in it.
Nice.
And then like I'm like, oh, this is cool, but I'm gonna fly back. And like, just put it in your luggage. Nobody cares. And I was like, this feels like a federal crime. But my mom told me to do it.
Okay.
So I'm like, is that a legal defense? I don't know. I'm like, look, my mom said this was okay.
Told me to do it. Yeah. I bet it would work.
I didn't get caught. I brought it allegedly. Let's caveat that. This may or may not have happened. I don't know. And then I may have eaten it, and it was too much.
Oh, yeah. You got to be careful with edibles, man.
Yeah, because now they're like this many milligrams, but it's like I grew up eating weed and smoking weed when there were no rules. I was like, I didn't know what kind of. It's weed. It's just weed. It's a brownie.
Yeah, you weren't figuring out like you said how many milligrams were in.
Yeah, like, they're like, take this is 20, and that's good. I'm like, I don't know if it's good or not. I don't.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm only 28, and I feel like I've aged out of knowing what to do with weed at this point.
Dude, it's too confusing. I've been like trying to work out this bit because like I remember when I first found out about like dabs, I was like, nah, that's too much.
Never done one. Never done one.
I was like, that's too much, man. Yeah, same. I'm like, with the butane lighter and stuff, I'm like, if you got to start measuring shit in Kelvin, I'm out. You know what I mean?
If it looks too much like crack to me, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I watched that crack documentary on Netflix, and it's like, yeah, can't.
Yeah, I've seen enough about all the other hard drugs and shit. I'm like, I don't know, man. We don't need to turn weed into that. Let's keep it casual.
Totally. Unfortunately, hard drugs caught up with our man, Dark Man X, yo.
Yeah, DMX.
God
yeah,
damn. That's a bummer.
The best Christmas song of all time written by DMX.
Oh yeah, the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, he's so good in the Rudolph. The first album I bought with my own money was Grand Champ.
I saw that post that you had. Which is interesting. I did like Grand Champ and I did buy it.
It wasn't his best work by any means, but there were a couple good songs, and I was 13, so it was like I'm just going in with my own money. Like I bought The Blueprint by Jay-Z, which is like at the time did not appreciate.
Really?
It's like because it's like that's a great album, but it's not one for a 13-year-old who's just discovered like rap via Kanye West and Twista and
it's kind of like
Chicago radio stations.
At least the early times, it's kind of like jazzy. Like some of my favorite Jay-Z stuff has that like jazz backdrop. Like Reasonable Doubt is just one of my favorite like chill albums because like he's still talking like street kind of like murder shit, but it's just like with the piano, like, it's like all right,
because I mean, with the Blueprint, he had like a lot of like song cry and stuff like that. He's like really looking to tell stories over like lo-fi, jazzy kind of beats.
Damn, Renegade though.
Renegade is good with Eminem.
Yep. Fucking that's how Nas on Ether made fun. He was like, Eminem murdered you on your own shit, and he's like, he's right. Eminem had the better verses on that one.
Yeah, DMX, man, he was 50, but he's looked 50 his whole career.
Right.
He was always going to look 50. And I guess that's like the crackhead thing. You know what I mean? You know, like when you smoke crack, like very quickly you turn into like a gruff looking 45 to 55-year-old man, but then you never age out of it.
Right.
You could be 75 and you still look like you did. You could be 25 or 7. Yeah.
That aggressive, like, I'm 40's hard life wrinkle.
A dusty gray beard. You're somehow ripped, even though you can barely walk.
Yeah, I felt like the DMX.
Not to slander him, you know. No.
It felt like almost like a monkey paw, which is like, oh, we'll get rid of Prince Philip. He's like sick. You find out you gotta lose DMX for that.
The Duke of Earl and Earl Simmons the same time. It's an Earl conspiracy. Watch out, Jason Lee. My name is Earl. You're next.
Yeah, right. Yeah, man.
I saw somebody post about DMX songs, and there's one that I jokingly was like, oh, it'd be fun to write a sitcom called About Three Kims. And it's the three Kims from that song, What These Bitches Want. And they go to his funeral and they all decide to live together.
I like that.
It feels like Chuck Lorre would get into it. CBS.
Oh, yeah, you could definitely get him on board.
We could have Kevin James would somehow be DMX's business manager. You got to attach like a...
Oh, yeah, you need a face. Like
CBS icon.
Kevin James is currently in a sitcom.
Yeah, he's always in a sitcom. Yeah, he's actually a good stand-up too. He's a good stand-up.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I've seen some of his stuff. He's on something on Netflix where he basically like a NASCAR. Like,
I heard about that. Netflix they're trying to reach they're really trying. I barely watch Netflix these days because they're not coming up with original content that I'm enjoying very much. But there's still enough on there that I can turn it on. Now they're going for the middle of the country. Now they're going for reality TV, documentaries, multicam sitcoms. I'm waiting for them to circle back to me. Yeah. I'm looking for the A24 stuff.
When they come back, A24, nice pull. We'll see, man. Because I find myself flipping through my streaming services now, right? Netflix is definitely getting less play because I've been watching more movies and stuff. So like you mentioned, Nomadland, I watched on Hulu. I watched a bunch of stuff on Amazon Prime. So
I don't watch a ton of Prime. I don't. There's good stuff there. I think. I don't know. I'm HBO Max is good. I like HBO Max.
HBO Max has been kind of crushing it. I'm gonna have to watch a bunch of this DC stuff because I've always liked the animated stuff, and I think they're bringing back Batman Beyond, dude.
Really?
I think so. Cool. I think so, which is kind of
that Spider-Man animated thing they did.
Oh, the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, Into the Spider-Verse.
Awesome.
That was cool.
That was awesome.
That was cool.
That was some of the best animation I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Especially in the superhero genre.
Yeah, I don't usually I feel like some of my friends get so into animated movies, and when they're for kids, I'm like, but I do like the adult animation type thing, something I can access a bit more.
I mean, Pixar always figures it out. I watched Soul the other day, and I was like,
I was gonna watch Soul, but I haven't seen it yet. It's dark, right?
It's a little dark, but works out.
Yeah,
works out.
I wonder if a kid would get it. Would a kid be like, "Oh, this is about existential dread," or would they just be like, "I enjoy the music"?
We do existential dread for children. I went to Sunday school.
Yeah. I think I was born with existential dread. I just have always had it in my bones a little bit.
Yeah. As soon as you got object, what is it, permanence? You're like, oh no.
I didn't really go to church much growing up, but there was a story. I'm agnostic, not very religious. Never was into it, but there's a story about me when I was 4. We were at church, and the person up there, I wasn't Catholic. I must have been just regular. I don't even know something. Yeah. But the pastor or whatever, he said, "This is God's house," and I hopped up on the pew, stood up, and just shouted, "Where's God?"
Where's God?
Yeah, I'm sure I ruined a lot of people's day that day. Like, Jesus, I don't know.
Yeah, there's an existential dread right there. Where is God? In his own home.
Yeah.
Oh man, I went to church. It's been a while. But I went to an Easter service at this kind of big church down in George Street, New Brunswick, and it's a black church, completely black church, and they had a whole production for Easter. They had a set you were on Broadway and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then this guy looked like Omar Epps was walking around with the stigmata and shit, and I was like, this is crazy.
I'd love to go to more religious things. I just I'm open to experiencing everything. I'd love to go to a mosque, things like that. But then I'm also I don't want to go there just to be let me watch what you do, even though I don't
right.
get. So I want to be respectful, but it's is it respectful to go there at all? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's one of them questions. You just never know. And it's funny. You're never going to be right.
No, you can't be right.
Any choice you make is the wrong choice.
Yeah. It's a no-win situation there. I'll just stay home.
Yeah. I mean, I remember speaking of the Duke of Edinburgh or Earl or whatever, I was in London maybe 2 years ago. And I went to the Museum of London, and I was just there is nothing in here from England.
Really?
It's
it's all stuff they stole?
Yeah, it's all the shit they took. It's pretty funny. I was oh, look at these ancient Asian sculptures, and
it's like that in New York too. You go to the New York museums, and it's always well, how come we don't have great American artists? I guess we do more now. I guess we just didn't have. We had Native Americans had a bunch of cool shit.
Yeah.
Stole that too, and then killed them.
Totally. Now you go in a store in the mall. It's that's a dream catcher. This is unfortunate.
I'm pretty sure there's a dream catcher in my apartment somewhere.
I wouldn't be surprised there's one here.
Got a lot of new agey bullshit in here.
Yeah, well, I think that's the demo that we're in, man.
Oh yeah.
women in our lives will, new aging.
A lot of plants. I got
plants.
The only thing I bought is I bought one of those cats that does this arm thing.
Nice, the lucky cat.
Yeah, the lucky cat. I like the lucky cat. I bought him in Montreal.
Nice.
He's cool as shit. I probably should say they. I probably shouldn't assume gender of this cat.
Yeah.
He's pumping. He's solar powered too, so he only does this when the sun's on him.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. There are a lot of plants around here now.
House plants.
Yeah.
I can count them. Right now. This is just in view. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Wow.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 plants that I can see right now.
Shit,
and there's more.
I'm only down to about 3 down here, but if you go upstairs, I'll start hitting those numbers.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's nuts. I mean, my girlfriend's mom, I should have seen it coming because my girlfriend's mom, they bought a lake house. Okay. And it's not that big of a lake house. It's a small little, 2-story, maybe 3-bedroom lake house. It's nice. It's great. Small yard. I counted how many chairs she has there once. At over 50 chairs at this small lake house that you could entertain max 15 people.
Right.
50 chairs?
50 chairs.
This isn't a wedding reception. This isn't a venue. This isn't like a banquet hall. What are we doing?
Lake house.
So I guess she's doing the same thing but with plants.
Yeah, outdoor furniture.
Yeah.
Never knew.
No.
Who knew? Well, it's funny because one of our cats.
You got multiple cats?
Yeah, we got 3.
3? I used to have 3. We got 2 now back in my mom's house.
Okay, nice. The latest addition to the family, his name was Dale Perhart Jr.
That's a good name. Dale's a fun cat name too. Just call him Dale.
Yep, and we kept the name. Usually we rename the cats, but we kept this one, and you just bring a lot of young guy energy in here. The Entertainment 720. And he eats all the plants. I'm just like, yo, he's just gonna keep eating new plants.
Do you keep the claws on the cats or declaw them?
Mostly keep the claws. I haven't declawed.
Okay, because we did this is a while ago. These cats are old now. One died, Bandit. He died at 21. He was old as shit, and the other 2 are 16 or 17 now. They don't have their front claws, which I feel like now you can't do that because it's inhumane or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I just got a note from my producer on screen. They're like, declawing's inhumane.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's I was 5 when it all happened.
Hey, yeah,
I didn't make these decisions. But the names of animal shelters are ridiculous. We got a cat named Henry was his name at the shelter. We switched his name to Boomer, which is a better name. He's a real big cat, kind of throws his weight around.
Nice.
And then we got a dog. They named this dog Happy.
Okay.
They called him Happy because he was just so happy. And it's really, you couldn't. We changed his name to Bo, but he was a real happy dog. Nice.
Yeah, I haven't done dogs in a while. I had a dog when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Fucking Rottweiler,
Ooh, big dog.
and then after that, we were just like, no, it's a lot of work. And never went down that route again.
Yeah, it's cats are a little more self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
You need a big house. You need if you get them as a puppy too, that's you don't have plans for the first 3 months of that puppy's life. No. Your plans are people come to see the dog, and then you just have to clean up pee and poop all day.
So much work, and the worst is when you run into someone who just didn't get that right, like an untrained dog, and just oh man, you fucked this up.
there's that Louis C.K. bit where he not endorsing him as a person at all, but there was that bit that he did where he talks about how you have to get the dog from the shelter. Right? You can't buy the dog. You know what dogs are at the shelter? Yeah, homeless dogs. Right. So then he talks about he's like, this dog's a nightmare. My kids are afraid of it. He talks about how he's got I just started buying heroin and injecting it into the dog, and everyone's like, your dog's so chill, man.
That's so funny. Yeah, man. Boy, he took a hit.
Yeah.
I saw him at
deservedly so to some extent, I think, but
yeah, it happens.
The Allen gets away with it somehow.
It's actually funny because back in the day, me and Dan used to listen to Chris D'Elia's podcast. And
is it the 10-minute one when he had that thing?
Nah, I know what you're talking about, but it was he had a solo podcast called Congratulations.
Okay.
And then he got in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
And funny enough, with like no fanfare or anything like that, he started doing episodes again with like
Right
zero
now?
sponsorship. Yeah,
Recently?
like right now.
Oh, okay.
I listened to one. It was just like it was funny him like describing like some of his friends having to like distance themselves. It's like oh man, like because he was in like some Army of the Dead movie and they did reshoots to take him out of it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like that's how you know Hollywood's got a grudge and they're like, we're gonna lose money on this movie just to like not have you on it, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you know, I did a favor for my friend, and they were like, oh, we're gonna shoot you out of the movie. It's like, no, dude, you didn't do him a favor because you're a fucking pedophile, bro.
Yeah. It's so weird with him because like he's such a silly person in all of his roles, acting, comedic stuff. So it's very weird to see somebody that silly try to be like, all right, I'm gonna get serious now. I'm gonna really get serious. It's like I've never imagined you being serious once before, so it's gonna feel weird.
No, that's a good point.
The Workaholics episode got taken down, which was a little bit of a bummer because I loved that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Where he plays a pedophile online looking for Justin Bieber fans.
Dude, he's played a pedophile too many times in film.
That makes you think that maybe people knew more than they let on.
I wonder, I wonder. But yeah, everyone goes through it, man. Like I was saying, Josh Whedon, he got into trouble for being not a pedophile, but like
harassing people on stage or something, or on set. I mean,
yeah, like some kind of harassment stuff. You got Matt Gaetz, the congressman. He's
fucked. He's so fucked.
It's funny
because that one guy is a plea deal. He's done, man.
Yeah. Oh, that guy's playing for sure.
How are the QAnon crowd like looking to find pedophiles all the time, and then when one of their guys turns out to be the one, they're like, "Hold on, let's wait for the trial."
Yeah. Nah, they'll figure out a way to like rewrite it. You know what I mean?
The deep state operative.
Yeah. He tricked us, but like we knew the whole time. And, it's all part of the storm, Connor.
I know the storm's coming. Did you watch that HBO documentary about
I started it. I didn't finish it yet.
Okay, it's insane, man. Like
it's crazy.
The internet, people spend too much time on it. I guess if your life is really shitty and you're like, I just need to believe something is the problem and not my personal failures, you'll dive into it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm in a bunch of weird Facebook groups now, so like, I see like boomer memes and stuff, and I'm just like, dude, this is bad.
Yeah,
there are a lot of dumb motherfuckers in this country, man.
Yeah, I don't have any family members that are like QAnon people, but I definitely have some on the conservative side. Thankfully, they're successful enough in life to not go down that wormhole.
Right.
But if like one of them lost their jobs, I could see them quickly just being like, Hillary has blood on her hands and all this shit, and Pizzagate, whatever.
Pizzagate, man. I always say this on the podcast. I used to live right next to Comet Ping Pong.
Comet Ping Pong in DC?
Yeah. I was like 3 doors down on Connecticut Avenue.
You lived with 3 doors down the band?
So, I wish. That would have been cool. Yeah, we'll put that after About 3 Kims.
About 3 Kims and their neighbor 3 doors down.
Yeah.
3 doors down is the theme song.
Yeah, that'll be a must-see TV, man.
Yeah. That'd be such a slap in the face to DMX. A show called About 3 Kims and we commissioned 3 doors down to do the music.
That would be a slap in the face. Man. That's so silly.
Yeah, I lived in DC too, actually,
for
really? A brief period of time. I don't know if I told you, I worked for the Trump Hotel Corporation at one point in my life. Awesome. And I signed out of college a job offer with them, and like maybe 2 weeks later, right before graduation, I'm already set up. I was either that or go to Arkansas, work for Aramark. Yeah. And I was like, Aramark told me at first I was going to Chicago. They told me I'm going to Bensenville, Illinois, which is in between my hometown and the Chicago city limits. So I could either reverse commute from Chicago or live at home for a bit. Mm-hmm. And they called me, they said, that was a clerical error. It's actually Bentonville, Arkansas. And I was like, those are very different places.
Completely different.
I said yes, but I'm like, if I get another job, I'm going to burn these people because they fucked me over. So I got a Trump job, Trump Soho.
Nice.
About 2 weeks after I agreed, did everything, the paperwork, Trump comes out and is like, Mexican's a rapist. I'm running for president. So then I'm at the hotel and everybody hates in there because it's all liberal New Yorkers. And we're like, this is a joke. He's not going to win the primary. Okay, he fucking wins the primary. We're like, he's not going to, this is fine. He's going to lose. And then our lives can go back to normal. We'll stop getting prank calls and like being worried that somebody's gonna spit us as we're like leaving the hotel.
Sure.
And when he won, we all went to a meeting the next morning in all black tie, black shirt, black suit, everything.
Wow.
But then they had me go to the DC hotel to help open it for like 2 months, and I lived in the hotel.
Yeah.
Fucking nuts.
The old postal service?
Yeah.
Nice.
The post. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I like
building.
DC a lot. Cool building. That is a beautiful. If you ever get the chance to walk in, definitely like check out the lobby because it's insane. It has like a nice atrium set up.
Nice.
But the people at the DC hotel all like either loved Trump or couldn't say that they did it.
Right.
Very different feel.
Yeah.
I walk in and I'm like ripping Trump jokes and everybody's like, I'm like, oh shit.
Which is funny because like that's the only within 500 square blocks, like that's the only building like that in that.
Yeah.
DC's such a liberal town, and it's just
it is. It was so weird. Like I would see Giuliani, I'd see, Bannon, I'd see all those people because that's their headquarters now.
Right.
That's the only place where they can go and have a drink and everybody is going to be agreeing with them and not being like, fuck you, or like,
that's true.
Yeah.
I had a friend stop going to a sushi spot that she liked because Kellyanne Conway was going there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like, man, you can't lose your favorite spots because Trump's
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go that far, but DC was great though. I loved like U Street partying.
Yeah,
it's a bigger party street than I realized.
It is. You like 14th, that area?
I like H Street a lot too.
H is cool.
They had something called the White Trash Whiskey Flight.
Yeah.
At a bar I went to.
H is on the come up. It was it's kind of out there.
It's northeast quadrant. It's like not, and northwest is where all the Capitol Hill and all that stuff is.
All that stuff, yeah. That's
U
great
Street
time.
was good.
Great time.
Yeah. I would love to live there long term one day, maybe, but it's expensive. And it's kind of small. It's smaller than I thought.
It's really small and it's really expensive.
Yeah.
So, it's a tough combination, honestly.
How long did you live there?
So I grew up in Maryland. My dad was in the Air Force, so like we lived on Andrews Air Force Base for a while, and then I moved somewhere like not too far from there.
Okay.
And after college, I moved back home, and then I was in DC for maybe about 2-3 years before switched it up.
Mm-hmm.
Portland for like half a second, and then Jersey.
Jersey.
Here I am.
Brunswick.
Yeah.
New Brunswick. I like New Brunswick. It was cool.
That's my college center,
You went to Rutgers, right?
Went to Rutgers, yep. Drink a lot.
Rutgers is I've only been to New Brunswick once. I never really went. I went to a Rutgers Penn State football game because I went to Penn State, and that was fun. Cool. Except like, I don't know. It seemed like it was all Penn State people. Rutgers was not very well represented. We kind of took over.
Penn State travels well. And there's actually a decent amount of, because the school is so big, there's a decent amount of Penn State fans here anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, like, wherever you
Rutgers was bad at the time. Rutgers was shit, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Football-wise.
They've been shitty. They're getting better, though, once Schiano came back.
Yeah.
Like, so when Greg Schiano had his first run at Rutgers.
Ray Rice?
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Oh, boy.
Hey.
I saw Ray Rice at a party.
College Ray Rice.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like wide. He's a very fucking like stout guy. It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Which is why
huge legs.
Which is why it's even worse that he's hitting women.
He never played another down in the NFL, but he became like a motivational speaker of sorts, right?
Really?
I think it's like he goes around like explaining how to hit women. No, I'm kidding. He goes around obviously telling like redemption stories and whatever.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
I feel bad for his wife because like they stayed together. She decided not to press charges.
Yeah.
So she's getting like wrung through the mud twice by two different sides.
I know.
At the same time.
It's a shame. But yeah. I
mean, you partied with him?
No, I was at a party. He
was there. Okay.
Like I was there and they were like, oh, it's Ray Rice. And I was like, oh shit, I'm in this basement. And it was Ray Rice.
Like a frat party or something?
Yeah, something like that.
I had that with Saquon Barkley at Penn State.
Nice.
He walked into our fraternity party, our house, when he was like a freshman, I think. And my one buddy, Chris, went up to him and goes, hey, we're not that cool. You know that, right? Like this is not that good of a party. We weren't like a cool fraternity by any means.
Yeah.
And then somebody else was like, hey man, we got like a game tomorrow. It's Friday night. You gotta rest up. You're starting as a freshman. We basically got him to leave.
Yeah. You guys gave him a water.
Looking back, I regret it. I was like, I should have.
Yeah,
Maybe
you
if
should've
he,
fucking.
I should have tried to get his phone number. Maybe he needs an agent. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
now he lives in New York. Maybe he needs a roommate. I don't know.
I can see like an Entourage style show that like where you became friends with Saquon Barkley. Now you like.
Yeah, all I've wanted my whole life is just to be like good enough friends with a famous person that I can be on their payroll and just like crash with them. That's all I want. That's why I do stand up. That's why.
That's a pretty good spot, right?
Yeah, I want to be Turtle.
Yeah, totally.
Jerry Ferrera.
Whose career's turned out to be not that bad. He really turned around.
He has which hasn't he had like a better career than
pretty much all of them.
Yeah, they all kind of.
Except for he's been in stuff, but like
he was in romantic comedies a lot, right?
Yeah, he was a lot. Didn't make any sense to me.
He's not that. I guess he's very plain, and they like to have like a good looking by regular standards, not Hollywood standards in those movies.
Yeah, but he wasn't filled out enough. He was a little too skinny, man. You know.
Also, not a lot of charisma.
You know who's got like good rom-com energy? Colin Jost. That's perfect.
I could see him being a good rom-com guy in an ensemble cast, like one of those ones where it's like 4 guys and like 2 are married and one's single and then one's like struggling or something.
Fair enough. I know exactly what you're talking about, but like the way I interpret it was like those like super celebrity movies where it's like 12 kind of famous celebrities doing like 5 minutes of like rom-com.
And they're always named after a holiday.
Yeah,
it's like Christmas Eve, Valentine's Day.
I'm just mad they haven't hit Kwanzaa yet. I'll write it.
Hey,
I'll direct it.
Get that screenplay going. There's something there. They remade Harlem Nights. They could do like there's probably something there.
They're redoing Wonder Years. I just found out about this. And Dule Hill from Psych.
Really?
In the movie Holes.
All right.
Yeah, he's going to play the dad in the Wonder Years reboot. It's all black family.
I like it. I can dig it. I never watched the Wonder Years. I watched like here and there because my college roommate my freshman year loved it.
Really?
He what Fred
Savage. It's kind of fucking weird, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. He was. We had our issues, but now we're cool. He's a cool.
That's
guy.
cool.
Random roommate, so.
Although
stuff comes out.
Let's be honest, I was a big fan of the Wonder Years growing up because there just wasn't that much on TV.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Nick at Night was a big boost for like
totally
people my age and our generation of people, just because like the sitcoms that were on TV weren't really relatable, but they were like Fresh Prince was fun.
Yep.
It featured a lot of Full House was good.
Yeah,
well, I don't know if it was actually good or if I just was 12.
Full House is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've watched like recent sitcoms and I don't know. You would think you could get better at that, but I don't know if it's the cynicism of today's, culture. But like trying to do an earnest sitcom today is just not it's just not going to work.
Well, it relies so heavily on the live studio audience that if you look at like some shows that are not sitcoms, like Parks and Rec, The Office, anything like that, some of the jokes they're doing would not be well received by a studio audience because it's cringy. It's like Michael doing the diversity day. You couldn't do that episode in front of a live studio audience. There'd be gasps. People would walk out.
Totally. I remember because I had never seen The Office, right? Like when I was getting big, I was like, I'm skeptical of shit that's too popular. Right?
Yeah, I am too.
I was like, no, I'm not watching this shit. And then since then, I've gone back to rewatch it, and you gotta get through like 6 or 7 episodes before it kind of evens out. Because, like you mentioned, the diversity hire. There's like when they out the one guy and stuff like that. I'm just like, yo, this is uncomfortable.
I do laugh at those episodes, but I saw them live time, and the show, for whatever reason, when Steve Carell changes his hairstyle, was a big shift.
Totally.
Changed his whole personality. He went from being like almost like villainous to just being like, oh, he has a good heart. He just has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah, that's true. There is a shift there completely. I know everyone always says, the English Office versus that one.
I never seen the English one. Yeah.
They're just 2 different things. Like the English one is pretty cool,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely enjoy that, but for the longest, because I'm kind of a contrarian, I was like, nah, the English one's still the best. But then going back, it's like, nah, they like really flesh this out.
Yeah,
a lot in the US version.
English one had 2 seasons. It was like short-lived. I don't know about Gervais.
Gervais, he's
It's like
he's
you're not
brilliant,
13
but-
anymore. Why are you talking about atheism so much? Grow up.
I know. Anytime someone goes super hard about atheism, I'm just like, I'm out, man.
If I hear somebody rail about atheism, I'm like, you're the same as the people you're railing against, and it makes me think that you never matured after like your junior year of high school.
Yeah.
You were like at the lunch table, and you're like, no, man, communism, atheism. You're like, you got really into the isms. You start railing against people's parents.
It's
and
like,
then you're stuck.
Yeah.
I did that. That's how I know.
Right. And like, look, it's okay to be right about shit, but like, you don't have to really, jam down people's throats. It's like,
Yeah, that's I hate that shit.
Yeah.
Have your opinion, but I don't know.
I'm just like so confused by like our current dialogue about like pretty much everything on this planet, and I'm just like the stuff I see on Facebook, and I know that's not necessarily real life, but it's close enough. It's like, wow, people hold a lot of fucking out there opinions.
Are you on Twitter much? Because I'm on Twitter now a lot, and oh my god, if you spend too much time on Twitter, you have to go outside and realize that it's like it goes so far left and then so far right, and then you walk outside and you're like, none of these people are real, huh? Like all these things that we're talking about, you don't hear anybody talking about it. You don't see anybody worried about it outside.
I know. It's the amplified voices. Like most people don't give a shit. Like your average person isn't spending like a full day on Facebook going back and forth with somebody on a post. That's like the 10%, but like we act like it's everybody.
Yeah, well, because we're all observing it.
Yeah,
but it's so fucking dumb.
Yeah,
just go outside, have a beer, go for a walk. I don't know. Go do an open mic. If you're so confident in your opinion, go do an open mic. You'll be shattered pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's like you go to open mic, you're like, did I ever have any good ideas? Like ever?
Yeah. No, I can't believe how strong people's opinions are. I don't think I'm smart enough to have strong. That's how you know you're not an idiot, is because you know you're not smart enough to have good opinions.
Sometimes I'm worried that I don't have enough convictions. I'm like, should I be upset about this? Like, I should care more.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, I'm like super laid back. And if I'm like, I really believe this, and then it doesn't go that way, I'm like, well, that's all right. It's like, I didn't like love it. It was
exactly.
That's what I believed, but it's not like it defined me.
It's like if anyone makes a decent enough argument about something, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not a big debater anymore.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, all right.
Yeah. I kind of let that bleed in my comedy too, because I'm like, I'm not standing on anything. So like if you want to try to like knock it down, it's just like I didn't care about that. I was just saying words to try to make you laugh.
Mm-hmm. But, jokes are jokes, and I think that's the problem with the internet too. Like when you're on stage, tone is so much. You can't hear tone on the internet.
No. And that's how you can like send this tweet. You're like, oh, it's gonna be a great tweet. Next thing you know, you're like
getting hate mail.
You're at a press conference. Like, what the fuck happened, man?
Yeah, you're just suspended from Twitter. Oh man.
I never really tried to push that medium. Like I see the comics that got good at tweeting and stuff like that. But even that, I'm like, I've never really seen the upside, right?
Yeah, I don't know much. I have a couple of my good friends are like big into it, and they'll go viral from time to time.
Sure.
It might help them maybe get noticed for like some shows sometimes. Maybe it'll help but nobody remembers who that person is when you go viral usually.
Right.
Unless you're famous already, or unless you go viral enough times that you're like verified. But even then you don't know what they look like.
Right.
Like I might be like later on, I might see the name and be like, oh, wait a minute. I follow that guy on Twitter.
Right.
But while he or she's on stage, it's like, all right, I don't know you. Let's get to know you.
Yeah. I think part of it, like you were saying earlier about getting older and just being out of the loop of certain things, that's definitely happened to me. It's like, I don't know who's popular on this or that medium. Just like, I'm just telling jokes. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I toss tweets out all the time, but I'm like, it's more just because we can't do as much stand up as we used to.
Yeah.
Starting to come back fully, which is good. But for, most of the year, it was like, I can get up at best a few times this week.
Yeah.
And the amount you're writing versus the amount you're getting up is just not equal anymore. So I just toss out a premise real quick or a funny idea I had.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I'm ready to get back into it. Like I started to kind of pick up a little bit on shows.
Yeah.
And now I'm actually vaccinated. So
Nice.
I'm more willing to kind of seek that out. But yeah, I just think that people are really going to want to see live entertainment, whether it's
I
comedy,
think so.
music. So this is a good time for people to like get their game up, man. Because
The show I was at last night was more people there than I expected to be there. Maybe not. Maybe too many people. Maybe we should have been a little more distance. I don't know. I mean, I'm half vaxxed, and yeah. I was at the Producers Club in New York City.
Oh, nice.
Like an off Broadway theater type thing.
Yeah, man. Off fucking comedy though.
Yeah. It was a good lineup. It was fun, but no, it's definitely good to be sort of back.
Yeah. Yeah, people
are definitely gonna seek it out. I think live. I'm ready to go to concerts. I'm ready to fucking
all that.
I'm ready for a crowded bar.
Even like a theater, right? Like
a Broadway play.
That or like movies, like AMC stuff like that. Like I watched Godzilla versus King Kong, whatever the fuck it's called.
I didn't watch it yet. I heard it ended in a truce.
Yeah, kind of. I'm Team Godzilla. You know.
Me too. I love the Godzilla movies.
Yeah, of course. And you know what? Without spoiling anything, I think Godzilla got off. Man, I think he did his shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He caused enough damage, and then he got away without getting too scathed.
Yeah, exactly.
That first Godzilla movie I saw in theaters in college, it was real good. Not the first one ever, but the I watched the super old Japanese ones with the subtitles.
Yeah,
from like we'd rent them at Blockbuster and stuff. But like that one with Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I thought
that was actually a good movie.
Yeah, is he still in the Godzilla movies in this one?
Nah, not that I saw.
Okay,
not that I saw.
Are there a lot of humans in it?
There's some humans. They brought the Stranger Things girl, Millie Bobby Brown. She was in
Millie Vanilli.
Yeah, Millie Vanilli Brown. The guy from Atlanta was in it. The black guy.
Lakeith Stanton?
No, the other.
Paperboy?
Paperboy, yeah. Paperboy. Exactly. I wish I knew that guy's name because he's in a lot of stuff now.
Yeah. Lakeith Stanton is in just about everything, and now this Paperboy guy's in a lot of stuff too.
Right. Lakeith is some of the best shit I've seen in my entire life.
Yeah, he's not only does he do so many movies, every movie he's done is good. Sorry to bother you by Boots Riley.
Yeah. It's like that's such a good movie.
Yeah.
I remember
I think it's on the level of Get Out. And it didn't get as much attention.
I think so too. It came out the same year, actually.
Yeah.
And the scene where is it Tessa Thompson, that's her name? She's at the art gallery and she's doing the monologue from The Last Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. People throwing like tomatoes at her. I was like, this is the smartest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was crazy. As somebody who's worked phones like that too, it's just funny. It's funny to subvert that whole telemarketing type shit.
Yeah, I've had the call center job, and I have seen people try to use the voice.
Everybody has a phone voice.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking to you like this now. This is my normal voice, but if I'm calling you and I don't know you and I have to ask you some questions, I'm gonna be like, so and so. I'm just calling to see if you had some time. You know, it's like a rise up in inflection. Yeah. I'm a casual, cool guy. That's how you got to sound.
There's definitely something about that. I remember this girl I used to work with, April, who just kind of like how to describe it. Classic, like almost stereotypical, like the black chick was like gonna give you like a hard time at like the DMV kind of. But she had a great phone voice and she was always talking about it.
I feel like a lot of those type of women who have like that type of a lot of attitude in their voice, a lot of like as soon as they get on the phone, they become like a Valley Girl type of voice,
totally,
you know?
Totally. Exactly. That was like the voice she had. I was like, how do you do that?
It's an on-off switch, man.
Mm-hmm. God damn, it's confusing.
Yeah. It's so dumb. I don't even know how. I feel like those jobs are going to go away at some point, but then maybe not.
Yeah, it's like, it's that mixed bag. Like, kind of need those jobs and kind of don't.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I found lately, maybe it's always been like this. It's a lot like these companies don't want you to be able to reach their customer service line. Like
it's 1,000% that.
It's just like
they don't want you to. Yeah.
I have Verizon. Sometimes I have to call them and set them straight.
So I did a customer service job a lot where like people have issues or something and I got to resolve it without losing the company money.
Yeah.
So I know the tricks. So I called Verizon too because our internet sucked. And we see all these packages for internet that's like discounted, way cheaper, and way faster than ours. But we signed up for like a long-term commitment, I guess. Right. So I called them and I'm like, hey, we got to. So I just kept going. And I would be like, you know what? Yeah, there's some other deals from these other companies. Maybe I'll go with them. Yeah. I had to stay on forever. But then eventually they'd come back and be like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to discount your rate to the monthly rate of that. Mm-hmm. Your internet's going to be this much better. Now you have like, if you keep pushing and you threaten that you're going to cancel, the worst thing for them is that you actually cancel.
Right.
So you just got to bluff a little bit.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, like why subscription services in general are doing so well is printing money. It's like, all right, as long as you can keep this base like user, you know you're getting this much revenue week after week, month after month. It's like that's a really reliable way of accounting if you're a business.
Yeah.
It's like
you can pretty much always get them to discount it because of that too, because they don't want you to end up being a net zero.
Right. And every smart business knows that. It's like, all right, yeah, you may not want to concede this ground, but at the end of the day, like the customer is a customer. Yeah. And you always want to keep that.
Yeah. If you're listening to this and you want a discount, don't call my company, which I'm not going to name here because I'll probably be the one to have to talk to you. But all you got to do is don't say you want a discount. Say you want to cancel and make it seem really real. Mm-hmm. That person will help you out. Worst case, they see through your bluff, but they almost always will help you out.
Yeah. That's good advice.
That's a little tip. Fun tip. If you don't do it to me, and I'm not going to name the company.
Yeah. Like when I was working, I was a retirement specialist on like an internal phone line. So like we didn't really have the customers calling us. We had people that were client facing that were like, I got this specific technical problem. Help me out.
For retirement is like retirement plans, or are they individual people who are already retired?
Retirement plans.
Okay, I thought maybe you were like scamming old people, like
that would be cool,
like they do in like Florida, where you become a guardian for somebody, then you just get all their assets.
Hell yeah, free Britney. You know?
Yeah, conservatorship. Yeah.
No, retirement plans, like a lot of IRA, Roth, 401k, that type of stuff.
Yeah. Mass Mutual.
All that shit. Mm-hmm.
I think I'm with Mass Mutual.
Jake from State Farm.
Drake from State Farm. It's Drake from State Farm now, right?
I think so, yeah.
He was in that commercial. He's a real beefcake these days.
Yeah, he beefed up. Real Drake-like.
He can't be that emotional anymore. He has to I don't want to hear him whine anymore. He can't be that jacked and whine all the time. It doesn't fit him.
Yeah. I don't know. He's kind of gotten this almost like party mode now. Like all this stuff is pretty lighthearted. It's interesting because I feel like that was a difficult thread to thread to needle thread.
I know what you're saying. Like the through line of going from like being that overly emotional, emo-ish rap and sing-songy stuff to then all of a sudden he like took a bunch of like the grimy UK rap scene in that one album, and then he went to reggaeton influences with the next album. He's he's just hopping the globe right now.
Totally. And it's at the point now where I'm like, man, I kind of want to see this guy try to get acting a shot again. So I think he could be one of those transcendent artists.
Yeah, he could. Yeah. I feel like a lot of musicians are coming into more. Yeah, Donald Glover. I don't know if he could do. I don't know if anybody could do what Donald Glover could do.
Yeah,
but even like Sturgill Simpson in the countryside, he's like in a bunch of movies now.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah, check that out.
Yeah, he was in that one movie, Queen and Slim.
Okay.
I don't know if it was any good. I think it might have been critically not well received, but he plays a cop in that movie.
I like Sturgill.
Yeah.
If you listen enough Joe Rogan, you've heard of Sturgill Simpson.
Oh, man. There's like two good country artists. Anytime somebody's like, I love country, and then they say like Luke Bryan or some shit, I'm like, that's like, get the fuck out of here. That's not country music. That's the same way that like pop rap. It's the same top 40. Top 40 is a separate thing on its own.
Yeah, totally. I think you're right. I can fuck with a little bit of Jason Aldean though. You know what I mean?
Listen, if it's on at a tailgate and I'm drinking like Coors Lights, the Silver Bullet train is riding, then I'm gonna.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Missed the tailgate. That'll be fun to do.
It's so funny that Morgan Wallen kid.
He's such a dumbass.
Got the post N-word bump.
It was like he was trying to get like. First, he did that. He's like videos of him partying like crazy. Mm-hmm. If I were him, go to rehab. Put the thing on really make it seem like it's a addiction issue.
Yeah. Get a mini series where they follow you around.
He said it was on like day 4 of a rough bender. And as somebody who's been on those, I don't think it's natural to just start spouting out racial slurs. Clearly, you've been saying that your whole life.
Yeah, that's just your default.
Yeah. He's young though, man. He's fucking young.
He's super young. So, he's one of those characters that's gonna bounce back. But I'm with you. It's like, yo, bro, maybe just take it down a notch, man.
The only thing with those guys that sucks is if they they try to come back too quickly, or if they don't try to like find a way to come back the right way, then they end up in the alt-right crowd, and then they have to like lean into it or lose their career. Like, I feel like Louis C.K. did that a little bit. He came back, but he wasn't really like, he didn't seem that sincere with apologizing or whatever. And all of a sudden, same with Shane Gillis, who is a great stand-up comic, and he's like leaning into the alt-right side sometimes, it seems like.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if that's your audience, I guess if you want a career, you kind of have to do it. But
yeah, I don't know, man. Like that swath of humanity, though, just gets rough, dude.
Yeah.
But I think that, like, ultimately, what bugs me about the alt-right is that ascribing so much of, like, your own issues on everybody but yourself is just, like, it's bullshit to me. It's like, yeah, maybe you're a dickhead. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay.
Go garden. Go see a therapist. You'll work through it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
But alt-right, it's that tie into the comedy community.
Big time.
All too real, man.
They also they'll comment on a Bill Burr bit, who Bill Burr's like very liberal politically, but he'll say something and they'll be like, yeah, but they almost don't even understand comedy sometimes.
Yeah.
That is a joke. He's not saying what you think he's saying there.
That's the thing, man. I think that if you're not careful with your art, not saying this about Bill Burr, I think
I know.
Brilliant.
I know what you mean. Like in general.
Yeah, like you can just get co-opted by like dickheads.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if you get a little sloppy up there, listen, there's a risk in anything you tell. That I believe in free speech. I also believe in consequences for anything. So whatever you want to say, that's fine, but people can interpret it how they want to interpret it.
Yeah. Like I try to stay away from like certain types of like black jokes or like black jokes in general, because
I do as well.
Yeah, well, makes sense, because it's like, am I gonna be,
pigeonholed?
Pigeonholed? Am I like contributing to something that's like negative? You know what I mean? Like I don't want to necessarily go there. But it's like, obviously I'm a black guy and I do kind of subvert expectation. I think that's kind of my sort of understanding of myself as a human being in a comic. And I play in that space a lot, but it's like, well, I mean, it doesn't really have anything to do with me being black, right? Like,
I know what you're saying. Like, you don't want to, you see it all the time, especially like,
oh, you see it all the time.
I saw it most when I was starting out with open mics. It'd always be like, a lot of times it'd be somebody was Asian or Hispanic, and they would go up there and they would do like thick accents for a lot of bits. And then they'd come off stage and I'd be talking to them like, hey, man. And I'm like, oh, so that character you're doing, maybe that's putting down. That might not be setting you up well. You might be pushing your community into like listen, do whatever you want on stage, but sometimes I see that and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but
I thought that was real.
I think that's part of it, though, man. Like, I really do look at it and it's like, I've got to be careful, not to so with the community put us in a bad light, or
And there's more pressure on people in minority communities for that, though, because I don't really feel that kind of pressure because I'm a straight white guy, and essentially, you don't have a community, but you don't think of your community as like at large like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's more difficult in that regard for you and just for comedians that do have to deal with that pressure.
Yeah. I mean, and at the end of the day, though, like, pressure is, I guess, because there is like this added layer. It certainly doesn't like encompass like all of my thoughts, but like, but it's something I got to think about. So in a way that is pressure, but it's mostly just like, there's an easy like hack bit sitting right here that I can just pick it up. It's well worn, it's like fits like a glove, and It's like, come on, man. How long are we gonna do that?
There's some crowds where you do it and it's like, that's for you because I know you'll laugh at it. You're that type of crowd. You're gonna like that. But after I do that, now I'm gonna do this thing for me.
Yeah. Totally.
And hopefully because you laughed at that, you trust me enough that you'll ride along with me on this one that's maybe a little more obscure.
Totally.
But can't play in the hack space too much.
I feel like the world needs to see me voice act as like a pigeon or something in a movie. Like
that would be fun as hell. An animated movie where you're a pigeon?
Exactly.
Pigeon, yeah.
Pigeonhole, yeah. Wow.
Pigeonhole.
Yeah,
Pigeonhole.
It's really about race, like Zootopia.
I saw two pigeons the other day. We walked by them, and one was just standing on top of the other pigeon.
That's crazy.
Not like in a sexual position either. No, and I looked at them, and they hopped off and like kind of were like, "You didn't see anything." Like it was some sort of a meeting of the minds or something.
They're like, all right, if we could just stack up like 5 more of us, we'll pretend like we're human.
Did I see the building blocks of a pigeon revolution like in real time?
This might have.
We need 10 more pigeons in a trench coat, and we'll be able to get into a Knicks game.
Yeah.
And then pigeons are fucking nuts.
They'll have a better time in a Knicks game than a former Knicks basketball player.
Yeah, Ewing wasn't recognized, and then Oakley got tossed, right?
It's kind of funny. It's like a running bit in a weird way. I'm like, that's kind of funny. Like,
people that are terrible, owners and politicians and stuff like that, they would be hilarious if they didn't have power.
Yeah.
It's hilarious to kick Charles Oakley out of a Knicks game.
It is kind of fucking funny. But at the same time, like, goddamn.
It sucks that guy is also overseeing all the decisions of the team.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Do I circle back to pigeons? I lived in Brooklyn once, and when I moved out of that apartment, there were 2 pigeons that lived outside of one of our windows.
Okay.
I woke up at 7 a.m. the morning of the move to go get a U-Haul, and I hear pigeons louder than I usually do. So my girlfriend goes, "Hey, I think there's pigeons in your apartment. I think they broke in or something." So I opened the door, and they're flying around like crazy. They don't want to be in there, but they can't get out. There's like a bottle of Kahlua. They knocked that over. It's a mess. And I had to I opened the door, and one got out, but then one wouldn't understand that the door was open.
Okay.
He had to go out the back door of our apartment. He kept trying to slam into the window. So I got an umbrella, and I had to not hit him, but hit near him to scare him out.
Yeah.
So there's no way they're smart enough to actually create a revolution if they couldn't get that.
Yeah. That's fair. You just never know, though, man.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Maybe.
Never had problems with birds. I did have a bird in my house once after we came back from a trip to Disney World.
Oh, it got in?
Yeah, but that's about as crazy as it's gotten for me.
I wouldn't want a pet bird. They live too long. I don't want an animal to outlive me.
Yeah. I remember one time I was in Jersey. I was drinking way too hard. I caught up with my old college roommate, and we were drinking kind of heavy someplace, and I more or less blacked out, and I woke up at his house, and not knowing where I was at all, they had a pet bird, and just that is a weird way to try to figure out your surroundings.
Yeah,
it's that screech that you get from your average bird.
Oh yeah, that's gonna make you think you did something terrible the night before.
Yeah, so funny.
If I wake up
I don't drink like that anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not anymore.
Keep my.
I've seen you drink. I've seen you put him back a bit.
I can put him back. The funny thing though is if you see me put him back, you haven't really seen me put him back because I'm usually driving when I'm out there.
Yeah.
But we did an open bar at that spot once, McGinley Square Pub, an open bar comedy show, and that was nuts.
Probably great if you're in the first 2 comics, and then after the first 2, it's gonna be you gotta be throwing daggers at the crowd because they're gonna be loud and drunk.
Yeah, pretty much, man. That shit was hilarious.
That cat at McGinley Square Pub, Shady, is supposedly still missing. I don't know if you heard about that.
I heard a little bit about that. That was a street cat.
It doesn't seem like the cat would go missing so much as it left.
Yeah.
Or somebody found it and decided to take it to a shelter or something.
Pretty much. I mean, it's for their own good. You can't really run a restaurant with a cat running around everywhere. You
gotta accidentally deep fry that cat at some point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And knowing Angelo, he would actually try to find a way to serve it as a special or something.
Yeah. That cat pissed on my pea coat. So
pissed on my backpack.
So you can stay missing.
Yeah. Not that I had anything to do with it.
Me neither.
I want to make sure that we're clear here. I got in trouble once with an animal at a bar, unfortunately. I got temporarily banned from a Old Man Hustle for the owner claimed I killed the betta fish at his bar.
Okay.
Not true. Not true at all. I sprinkled some fish food into it while I was on stage because I wanted to feed the fish, and I didn't see the fish at all. And multiple comics that night said, I think the fish is missing. It's not there. So the next day, they claimed that I think the bartender did it because it must have died on the bartender's watch, and she didn't want the blame, so she tried to shift it to me, and like saying that like because I overfed it died, but I think it was already dead.
Yeah,
it was only been for like a month before I think they realized it probably wasn't real. And
yeah, that's a bullshit. You know, people just
it's a $5 betta fish. This place is in Chinatown too.
Yeah,
you could get one. I could have gone one that morning and gotten you one.
We'll just make sure overfeeding. Come on,
it's a power thing, I think.
I think so. Fucking beta males, beta fish. What's next?
It's funny we call them beta fish because they kill another fish if you put it in the tank.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit. I'm just so worried about that like red pill culture that's running around like this. I don't know, pagan warrior culture that's gonna like come out of these
the neckbeards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They'll stay inside.
That's true. We don't have to worry about that much.
Yeah, I don't see people in the wild like that too often. Even at the worst open mics, there's rarely like a true jackass.
Yes, there. I think the closest experience I had to that was I saw a guy that was getting like more and more bitter about things that he shouldn't have been.
Yeah,
I was like, he's trending the wrong direction, and he ended up being kind of like alt-righty, and I was like, yeah, oh well.
There's a guy named Mark Random who I would see at open mics sometimes, and I mean it's not comedy. It's just extremely vile, hateful, weird shit. Of course, he was featured on like some Legion of Skanks type podcast because they're making fun of him, really, like how this guy's nuts. But in his mind, because he's so delusional and crazy, it's like an endorsement. And that's the only guy that I've ever seen where I'm like, this guy could be a problem.
Yeah,
this is an issue.
Yeah, it's that hoodie at school type shit. It's like
the trench coat with the sawed-off shotgun. I don't.
Nope.
You know.
Nope.
We don't need a school shooting reenacted at an open mic here in the Lower East Side.
Yeah, those are picked up, huh? Jesus Christ.
America's healing.
Yeah, we're back, baby.
School shootings are back.
Summer of George.
God. What's that Onion article that always comes out whenever it happens? Nation saying nothing can be done, but they're the only nation where this happens regularly or something. I forget what it is, but
something like that. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I've decided that like when it comes to like the neckbeard crowd, the boomer crowd that I was talking about, I've decided that like they don't want to solve these things. Like it's like pro wrestling. Like they need the foil because like otherwise, what is there? Then they have to like it's about them at that point. So
they don't want whatever crusade they think they're part of to end because that's the only thing that gives them a sense of purpose for now.
Right. Yeah, it's like, could you imagine these groups of people if they did get rid of all the brown people, then it's like, oh wait, it still sucks.
Then you realize that you don't have any skills.
Maybe it was us.
It was you the whole time.
Yeah. But I've seen that more in like minority communities too. Like there's that sort of
conservative
that wedge of like latest example, which to me is insane, but I've seen it, is like, when there was all that spike in Asian hate crime.
Yeah.
And like there's like literally like a wedge issue. It's like, why are you concerned that like someone's trying to address another culture's like current like problem, right? But like making it like an us versus them type of thing. I just thought that
I saw some stuff on Facebook about that.
Yeah. And like today I saw one that was basically about like there's something in one of these bills where like undocumented people may be able to get certain money, but it's basically supposed to be like a form of unemployment that they're not currently eligible for. And someone's trying to say, well, they're giving undocumented immigrant stuff and not us. And I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, you
I
don't.
don't, I
I'm
don't
not
get
touching
it,
that.
man.
I'm not touching that.
I just don't like. I don't know how these things become like these big tent like issues, right? I just know that like for the most part, I don't want to be involved in
No.
the conversations.
No, yeah, there's no. I don't think anybody really wants to touch that stuff. The whole worrying about people act like they have a law degree half the time when these things come out.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even listen. You barely graduated high school. I don't think you understand the nuance of like a 500-page stimulus bill.
Totally. It's like
I mean,
like,
I don't. But if no offense to you, but I went to high school with you. I don't think you know what the hell you're talking about.
Totally. Just like the amount of times we've been to the dentist collectively in the past 12 years versus like how many books these people have read, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, that's so funny. But man, dude, I think this was good.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, you got to catch up.
Yeah, it was good. I haven't seen you in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah. And you said you're getting your next shot, what, the end of the month?
Next shot is the 30th, April 30th.
Okay, nice.
Same day as I have a show that night, and then the next day I'll probably just conk out.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, I'm watching the calendar now. That's around when I want to get back. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. But I haven't participated in like a year.
Well, it's full contact, right? Was it happening at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That type of person, like your average martial artist,
they're not.
Is not worried about like public safety.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't justify it. Like I said, we got the new age stuff happening in here. I couldn't run about. Yeah.
Don't want to get anybody sick.
No, I mean, not, like I don't want to get anybody sick, and I definitely don't need the "I told you so" of like he went to jiu-jitsu and then his whole family got sick. It's like,
yeah, exactly. You don't want to be the guy that's facing the paper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to be the guy like who like didn't observe the crime, but was like, that guy was suspicious. That's who I want to be.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna have to get going, I think.
Cool, man.
But,
any social media, anything you want to plug?
Yeah, you can follow me at it's Connor Dixon on Instagram. I'm on Twitter too. It's Connor. Twitter is at Connor Dixon. CONNRDIXON.
Mm-hmm.
And also have a couple shows coming up in the Tiny Cupboard on April 14th, April 23rd, and April 30th. All at the Tiny Cupboard, which is a cool venue in Bushwick. If anyone wants to come out, they're good shows. There's a lot of other good comics on them too.
Nice. Well, man, thanks a lot, Connor, and I'll catch you soon.
Yeah, man. Are you doing the Wednesday thing? I'll probably see you next week.
Yeah, I'll do the Wednesday thing.
Yeah, I might see you Wednesday.
All right,
All right, man. Peace.
Later.